Okay, welcome back to Martin Liedtke channel. Hi guys, a lot of excitement, a lot of anticipation for tonight. And it is tangible, I can feel it. It's very, very exciting. And I do love exciting things. With no further ado, I'm going to welcome on board. If you haven't seen Jason already, I know like 2,000 people have just turned up in the last week or so on my channel. So you may not know Jason Archaix, the mighty Jason of Archaix, and the awesomeness that is everything to do with this community. So Jason, welcome, my friend. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, man. I just saw your name, Marticus Von Tron, so I had to change mine.
I thought it was in tune with what we're going to talk about. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Man, my audio should be pretty good as long as I talk low.
You sound great. You sound great.
Yep.
Everybody's in chat. Audio is good. We're getting a big 420 from everybody. I'm sure somebody will tell me if anything goes wrong with the audio. But so far, all is awesome. So, Jason, we're working really hard. I notice you work constantly, and I know because I do it. So hats off to the amount of work you put in, because unless you're a content provider, you can't possibly know what it entails, and I do. So max respect. That is massive amount of work that you put out there, man. Just craziness. So just for people who haven't really met you yet, one of the most amazing things that I hear, I can't even add up the amount of people, Otto there in chat, a few other people who have told me that their life has been utterly transformed by the works of Awaken the Immortal Within playlist wrote by yourself. So the question I want to ask Jason, okay, is what do you think this place is? And what is the best way to navigate for a best life?
Well, what I think this place is, well, that's pretty deep. Mm-hmm. First of all, you mentioned the playlist on We Immortals, and I have to tell you this, that Martin, long before I was a YouTuber. I mean, I was already in publishing for 20 years. This is what I did. I mean, I was a writer. I was a writer before I was ever really a researcher. So, and I've always been rather philosophical in my writings. So that's what the We Immortals is. It's those moments in my life where I'm vibrating on a frequency that I'm so intact with I'm just so in line with the field that I'm no longer really me. And yes. I just start writing, and I put it all down. And yeah, I've even showed on my channel. I've given examples in real time of me writing things and then doing a video. It's a first draft. Many of my writings are absolutely first draft, right as they come out. And so they don't take a lot of preparation.
Well, I had the other year, last live event, I had goose pimples when you said about when it just comes out of the air, all of this like amazing information, and I got exactly the same with my creative thing. It's just like once I get onto, I just need a source for the idea, and then it just grows and everything just falls into place, and I'm like literally flabbergasted sometimes by how this happens. It is,
man, listen. Information is in the field. When it's the ego. It's the personal ego that fights against this revelation, and it's the ego that wants to really believe that by virtue of all your reading and learning in your life, you now possess all this information in your brain. Now, just thinking that is egoic. It's literally putting you on a pedestal over your fellow human, peers, as if you possess something they do not. And I just don't believe that's the case. I believe that reading and researching opens up all the reality tunnel avenues that our soul can take in the acquisition of more information. And there's evidence in this, because when you start reading about something and you become passionate about it and you find this information is fascinating, what happens in your life? When you go to work, you're doing your hobbies, you're feeding your dog, you're playing with your parrot, whatever. Not barf parrots, but when you're playing with your parrot, all of a sudden, without even any effort at all, how many times has new information come to you that was very close, similar, or related in some way to the information that got you on fire. And then now reality starts bringing these books. All of a sudden, YouTube shows a video that, wow, this video's 10 years old, but it's exactly what I'm interested in now. And reality has a way of commiserating. It has a way of bringing into contact with us the very things that we're searching for, because, as I've explained on my We Immortals playlist, this is a frequency-based medium. It is all made out of different modes of spirit. And because we are spirit, but we're only in one frequency at a time, what we receive from the construct is all dependent on us. If you want certain things that you feel that are out of your reach, it's only out of your reach because you're not vibrating on the frequency of the very things you seek.
So change your frequency, and then you can obtain, a different experience.
Man, there's an old adage. It's not mine. I think Wallace Waddles said it over 100 years ago, but you change your frequency, you change your world.
And it's as simple as that. The world, I know, you've mentioned here how people see it attached to a negative default, and they have to have something surrounded with fear. I don't get it myself, but
well, the default is necessary. I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
Well, no,
negative default programming is there as a base background. It's a medium for all the souls that want to participate in the collective. Anybody who wants to neutralize their own field and live a reactive life, there's a medium there for you where you can participate in all that. And you're all going to vibrate on a negative frequency together, and you're going to complain. You're going to enter your own feedback loops, and you're going to look at people like Jason and Martin like we're aliens, and you have no idea what we're talking about. So yeah, that's what it's there for. It's for the collective.
Yeah, well, I've seen a lot of, myself included, on YouTube with this understanding. I've seen a lot of people turn their lives around. No longer based on fear, actually thinking about their lives and their role here. I used to think that I was here to change the world, but not so much. I've taken some of your philosophy on board, Jason. I really do feel that I'm not here to change the world, although indirectly we both have with the information. But your ego is a massive player. I encounter it all the time in comments, Jason. Everyone taking the superior high ground. They're like, I should just shut up and bow to their superiority. And all I'm asking them to do is just think outside the box. It's quite simple,
Right.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So ego, and they won't let go of it. I don't know whether you've seen, did you see me a couple of weeks ago? I was on a hangout with Brad Olson from Ancient Aliens. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, man. He got very.
How dare you have one of those cultists on your channel?
Yeah, man. He got super upset with my presence.
Did he?
Oh yeah, man, super upset with flat earthers. He just wanted to have a go from the start, but basically he had no, he just didn't back up what he was saying, and not embarrassed himself, but it's that whole just backing up what they believe is their understanding of the world, and that is it, cast iron, and everyone else must believe it. I just can't do that. It's the same with religion. Let me ask you a question. There's this guy flying around, isn't there, Lady Babylon? I tried to get in contact with him. But
Hammond Hillman.
Yeah, highly interesting chap. But he's in the camp that Jesus is a real character. Okay. Yeah. All right, he's a bit like, he paints it as being a bit like Eyes Wide Shut Jesus. Mm-hmm. But yeah. So what do you think? Because I noticed you're going to ask this question later on your live event. So what are you thinking?
Well, I don't think Ammon's entirely wrong. And let me explain. Jesus looks like an amalgamation of 4 different historical personages that were all merged together in a 200-year period that by 255 AD had pretty much become what we now know of as the gospel narrative. And by 500 AD, now it became what we know of as the full New Testament. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, the book of Acts, the epistles of Paul, James, Hebrews, Revelation. You understand? So I'm going to be discussing this tonight, but tonight I'm bringing a tremendous amount of new material to the table that I have never talked about before on the origins of Christianity. I'm literally starting my video out with showing how just the existence of the Nag Hammadi text completely overturns Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. So I'm starting my video with that, and then I'm going through all the data, and I'm using Grok AI, which promotes Christianity. That I don't understand why an AI, when an open AI system like Grok on Twitter, Elon Musk's AI, I don't know why it pushes Christianity so hard. It's programmed to. It defends it. So what I did, and I'm going to show live because I'm going to go into my UX settings and I'm going to show that this 100% live. I'm going to be asking the questions to Grok, and I'm backing Grok up into corners that absolutely admit that every bit of this is false. So
wow.
that's what I'm doing tonight. But yeah, concerning Ammon, listen, the Jesus that he promotes is not the Jesus of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. He takes his material out of there, but the Jesus he's promoting was a real guy, and that within 150 years after his life, they built this narrative around this real guy, covering up the actual things he was doing using Greek euphemisms that Ammon Hillman is very good at detecting. He's very good at detecting when the syntax is euphemistic, and so Ammon Hillman has become very popular, showing, look, guys, this is the original meaning. This is not what it was. This is not what. So there could have been a Jesus figure, and in Greek culture, this is not really talked about a lot.
My friend of mine bought a Greek translation book. She's really good with languages, and she checked it out for herself, and she said it all corresponds.
Listen, I'm going to tell you something about Greek culture, man, that's kind of embarrassing. It's first of all, I have several books on the Olympiads in the Pythian system, and they go a lot into Greek culture because the Olympiad was the 4-year calendar of ancient Greece. And I have all this material that pulls from Plutarch, and it pulls from Strabo, and it pulls from Herodotus, and it pulls from
Cicero.
Not so much Cicero, who was Roman, but Cicero. You're saying that now because you already know Cicero is one of my favorite writers.
Yeah, well, you follow the same sources as me. I'm the same. Pliny the Elder. I'm same with Pluritas.
So when it comes to the Greeks, Greek culture is, you know what? We just have to call it like it is. The pedophilia that we criminalize today was not a big deal in ancient Greek culture. It just wasn't. As a matter of fact, Ammon Hillman's is kind of sanitizing a lot of this stuff. He's sanitizing it, bro. Because I've read the material, I have the books in here, and if they're not in here, they're in my storage in totes, because I can't fit all my books in here. But I'm going to tell you now, Greek culture was really big. The girls stayed with the women. The boys stayed with the men. But men used boys as bed warmers in Greek culture.
Yeah, the Spartans. The Spartans. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Almost all young boys in Greek culture had laid with men, before they got their actual... they got out of the milk. They got out of the milk name, and they got their actual custodial name, which then they were able to enter Greek society. But yeah, boys were treated just like girls for until they were like 12 or 13 years old. Now, if some of them were set aside like the Spartans did for military training at 8 years old, that's different. But before they were 8 years old, they had already lain with men. So. Yeah, I didn't know we are going to be talking about this, but yeah, Ammon Hillman is not bringing something new to the table. What he's doing is bringing something ancient to the table, and he's doing it without. He's really not that offensive. Well, when you take into consideration what he's bringing to the table.
No, I agree. I'm freaked out by his chat sometimes, but I don't watch him too much because I don't like that sort of information, actually.
I thought it was a psyop at first. I thought he was a psyop at first because I'd never heard of him. And here's this bald head guy that doesn't speak real well, and I'm thinking, what is this? AI trying to copy Jason? So I didn't know what the hell I was watching.
Well, the thing is he doesn't get the viral videos. There's a guy called, I think it's Davy Jones, I think. It sounds a bit of a pseudonym, but this guy posts for him and gets like 1.5 million views. So I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, I thought exactly the same. I thought, oh, he's got a little cult going on over there, and and it's just come out of nowhere with this, this information that could really affect a religion with 1 billion people or a couple of billion people. So yeah. So
well, you do know that. I mean, the version Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. You know that the Gospel of Thomas, many scholars are on board with the fact that the Gospel of Thomas shows evidence of being older than Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John's development. Well, what's troubling about that is the Gospel of Thomas remained untouched for 17 centuries because it was buried underground. So the church never had contact with the Gospel of Thomas. As a matter of fact, the whole entire Nag Hammadi library was buried because the church was hunting all the manuscripts to destroy them. So somebody had hid this cache, and we're fortunate they did, because it reveals that there were hundreds of different narratives, at the time of Jesus's life. All the church did was canonize everything, but in order to canonize it, they had to eliminate over 2,000 Christian texts in order to hone it down to what we have today. So Ammon Hillman has brought things to the table that the general public just didn't really realize, such as there are texts about Jesus that are older than Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John that describe Jesus basically in a relationship with Mary Magdalene. And this text is legitimate. And I'm going to go into some of that tonight, but yeah.
There's the whole other field. There was a guy here, a friend of mine that died. He was an historian that worked with Wilson and Blackett. I'm sure you've heard of them authors. Right. Where they say that he left, he came to, Jesus survived the crucifixion, came to Britain with Mary and his uncle, who was a shipping magnate and extremely rich, Joseph of Arimathea, who brought.
Yes, I'm familiar that many of the medieval texts of the Christian era in England, I absolutely talk about this.
And
this
he's
movement.
Dead, buried. Yeah. They say he's buried.
There's a lot of crossover between Rome of the time of Jesus and ancient Britain through the royal house of Caradoc, because Caradoc had been captured, his whole family had been captured, and they were living in Roman palace. And this is what Rome did when they captured the royal families of foreign nations. They gave them palaces, but it was like a walled palace where they could stay on top of them.
There's in my local cathedral, which is the home of the Welsh Anglican Church, Llandaff Cathedral. There's a saint laying in there. Which these books, which gives you extensive evidence for, that they say that Jesus Christ is in there, and they say that that's the first cathedral on earth as well, Llandaff Cathedral.
Yeah. See, I'm not on board with saying Jesus didn't exist. My position is that the Jesus of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, the miracle worker, when the sun darkened, the earthquake happened, the dead raised from their graves while Jesus was dying on the cross, and he said, Lama Lama Sabachthani, and all this dramatic stuff never happened. That's what I'm on board with. It never happened. Now, one of the very first church fathers ever, Irenaeus of Gaul. They don't like citing this text. But this man used to argue against other Christians. He said Jesus was 50 years old, and that it was heresy to say that he was crucified, robbing him of the truth that he taught in his old age. So yeah, man, there's so many different Jesus versions. You just mentioned one that's in the Nag Hammadi text.
Yeah, I don't know what can we trust? What can we trust? What can we trust about the given? What about the Dead Sea Scrolls? It tells about the Essenes, etc.
Yeah,
housed in Tel Aviv Museum.
You're going to hit walls. You're going to hit walls on the Dead Sea Scrolls. So, hold on just a second. The Nag Hammadi text confirm what you just said about ancient British tradition.
Yeah,
because in the Nag Hammadi text, it does say that it was a conspiracy. I think it was a man named Simon who was switched out with Jesus, and because in a lot of executions in ancient times, they would put a hood over the head of the person being executed. Oh. So it could very well have been somebody else being crucified on the cross. ancient royal sacrifices were done in that way as well. They wanted to cover the face so the people from a distance outside the temple precinct would believe that a certain female had given up her life, to save all the people. This was really common in the days of the Poseidon worship in the Mediterranean, when they put a giant squid on a woman's face, the origin of the Medusa legend. So during the Phoenix phenomenon, they always wanted to be saved from the Phoenix phenomenon. So every 138 years, they did the squid ceremony and they put it on a woman's face. And the people always thought it was a willing victim and all that. But a lot of times it was a servant girl or a slave girl who met a terrible fate and became like a Medusa, because the squid basically ate the face off. That's why Medusa became super ugly and had snakes or tentacles.
And all of the antennas, tentacles.
So this is why in the Medusa legend we have the Pegasus, we have the hero Perseus, which means destroyer. The same thing the Phoenix is called, because in the Perseus legend the sun darkened and the Kraken rose from the deep. Well, the Kraken typifies the tsunami that destroyed Joppa and Argos when this happened in 1687 BC, and the flying horse is nothing but a memory of the ancient Poseidon sacrifice of taking a white horse and running it off of a cliff so it could die in the sea. It was a sacrifice. It was the horse sacrifice, the hippo sacrifice to Poseidon became the flying horse, and this is I talk about this on my channel a lot, how all these motifs were merged together. But the same thing we find in the Jesus narrative, the sun darkening, all this is borrowed from older traditions, the Phoenix traditions. But you mentioned the British tradition about the switch out. Well, it's in the Nag Hammadi library. It's in the Nag Hammadi text where they switched Jesus out and replaced him with a guy named Simon and crucified Simon instead. So it's yeah, it's pretty interesting that you should mention that.
Yeah, well, it's a super interesting story, and I think I'm tied in with it somewhere because things just keep showing up in my life concerning it.
Listen, I would not be surprised if at the end of this life sim, you and I and several other people that we know in the field are all kicking back together in some holographic court in a technologically advanced society talking about, damn, that experience was so real. Wasn't that crazy? We used to talk to each other and visit each other inside the sim. And isn't it weird that, man, I didn't even remember when I met you, Jason, that I was one of those guys watching the crucifixion 2,000 years earlier, and I saw the switch out.
Yeah. Remote viewed it.
Wouldn't even be surprised, man.
Everything is connected. I really do think we're more psychic than we give ourselves credit for. Like you said earlier, Campbell said to me, the times that he's like literally thought of a vlog and then he's gone to post it and I've already done it that week, and vice versa. And I'm like, I was thinking that. It's just thinking the same things at the same time. This spooky action at a distance, quantum entanglement, whatever you want to call it. There's something else going on. I think we're, in this sim, whatever it is, I think we're all super connected, more connected than we think. But when you break free, I find it nearly impossible to be in groups of people now, publicly, who aren't truthers. It's agonizing for me. I can't do it. I'm just so separate from the world now that I can't listen to what they're saying because it is literally painful to me. So a lot of people are going through that in the truth movement. I do know that.
It's an easy test. There's a really easy test anybody can do to see just where you are in your frequency and all that. It's all you have to do is go in any room and listen to mainstream media for a couple of minutes. And if you're comfortable and you can engage and you can listen to it and you can talk to other people with that going in the background, you're probably not as awake as you think. But if it starts getting on, making you grind your teeth and you just got to get out of that room and you can't listen to that nothing but the dungeon programming steadily pumped out of all mainstream media, if you can't tolerate it and it gets under your skin, then you're probably very, very awake.
Yeah, it does more than that. It literally draws my energy like literally makes me feel weak.
Like vampire shit.
Like vampire shit. I'm like, I feel really weak now just being around that person. Just, I can't be around people who've got this, like, who vibrate like a fridge, you know, they got that buzzy vibration. I'm like, you know, dude, you're going to have to just fuck off away from me. You know, I can't do it. You know, I like the world chilled. Yeah. Yeah,
man.
I'm so different than what I used to be. I used to be like what I would consider as crazy. I never did anything right, like the world is supposed to be. I just wasn't like that. I just did what I wanted to fucking do. And fuck the consequences as well. Honestly, that's how I thought.
Yeah, man.
I'm completely different now. You know.
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
Look at this. I got some. I want to show you something in a minute.
What?
Flat Earth British, Martin Liedtke
No
speaking.
way, man. I gotta have one of those.
Yeah, man. Oh, yeah, they're on my. I think they're on my channel.
I'll send you one of these, man. This is one of my Aaron's Choice coffee, man. But look, you can't drink out of a cup. You can't drink out of a baby Phoenix cup like this if you don't have no breaking free coffee. See that?
Well, that's a big bag.
Hell yeah! I got break free coffee. I got Phoenix blend coffee. Look at Jason. Look at Jason's commercial going. I'm getting free commercial time on Martin Liedtke. Yeah, man. But
listen, I was going to put break 3 and dry trying in the thumbnail, and I like literally didn't realize later. And I put live 3 and die trying. I don't know why you didn't. I do know what it is. You know, I can say salacrium, and like that woman that does videos brilliantly. What's her name?
What's the woman's name?
I don't know. She does videos about you. She done one. She was naked in the woods. And she's like saying that like nobody really knows how to say salacrium.
Yeah. You talking about Christina the Astonishing?
Christine, yeah.
They
were really well put together, Jason. Them videos, give her that. Jesus,
she's good at that. She is.
Yeah, I'm well impressed. She looks familiar as well, but they all do. Let me show you this image here. One of your subs sent me an email. He said that he had goose pimples, and like he's utterly convinced that I'm a Loki. So he's obviously been watching the series and thinks I'm a bit mischievous.
I have seen this.
Have you? Isn't it amazing? It's a phoenix bursting at 4th, and it's like, to me, I interpret this. It's like everything in you is what is in the sim. You know, it's like everything that it demands. You know, God's messengers, like Lucifer, Murdoch, Mercury, and Hermes, who are apparently separate people, and I thought they were the same. And St. Michael, they're all in the same gang.
Yeah.
But over here, we have Phoenix on this swing here with Destruction and Dragon and Apollyon.
Yeah.
There. The sun in Hades, Phoenix, Rocco, and I'm not sure what that is.
See, I want to know the provenance. Who drew this? Where did it come from? How old is it?
I thought that myself, Jason, and the conclusion I came to is all of the people that know this alchemical knowledge, this kind of knowledge, the Phoenix is all over it, yeah? Because, you know, maybe it's like just a plasma event, but what I found with these alchemical
that's a fire. Hey, that's a fire salamander. That's the East, like India. That's Southeast Asia's version of the Phoenix right there, the fire salamander.
Really?
They have the exact same traditions.
But you get the Phoenix in these a lot, and there's a couple in here where the Phoenix is literally standing on this orb that I talk about, the crucible. It's a strange old orb. But yeah, so whoever drew them pictures, they knew the information and what this place is. So like, there's a crazy Phoenix there.
Yeah, but what's interesting about it, like my own video is like 4.5 hours called Occultus Mysterium, where I show hundreds of these pictures and the Phoenix is hidden in all of them. Oh, like you're showing me here, I've never seen these pictures, but you're showing the same thing I did, that these alchemical treatises continue to put Phoenix with the sun and moon as if it too is also in the sky.
Yeah. Okay. I can see that. This blood orb.
There's that red rain, red blood, red mud that falls down.
Yeah, man. I got so many depictions of fire and brimstone happening in you know. Yeah, what I did in my last post, I sort of did a pinpoint of when I thought like resets were and stuff, and I
Well,
pinpointed it
what do you
to
think
every
about
second.
the idea? What do you think about the idea of the winged egg as being like a code for resets? Because the wings imply a dragon that's already old, and the egg implies it's about to be reborn.
Okay, well, that is actually the context of my first book is what the wings are.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
there's a magnetics experiment when there's a jar and it's filled with iron filings, and you put a magnet on each side of the jar, and it comes out in wings. So it was part of a decode. It's not necessarily the case, but I thought it was a decode because I backed it up with about 1,000 evidences to support it. That I thought that it was analogous for plasma, EMF
Oh,
radiation, which is what you think what we're talking about anyway. You know, plasma is what we're talking about. Something enough to cause the whole world to. But it doesn't end because it's just a simulation. You know, this edit of 1902. I'm not sure that everybody in this place got wiped out. I think there was like a subtle edit. You know, if it's a simulation, they can do that. Surely, you wake up in the morning, hey ho, just like Shell Beach, Dark City.
You know what? We like to I do a lot of speculating on the 138-year periodicity and what happened at this time, what happened at that time. But you know what?
Yeah.
There's whole areas of the world right now, Martin, there's whole areas of the world going through resets, but we don't consider it that way. I mean, the whole Los Angeles to San Diego area is whole areas have been burned to the ground, and like small localized resets. But also, let's take 1902 in consideration. We know that the volcanoes of Saint Vincent and Mount Pelée on Martinique exploded and incinerated over 60,000 people. We also know the ocean level, the ocean surface on the bottom of the ocean changed by 3,400 feet, according to the U.S. Geological Survey Office, but the ocean level never changed. We know that red mud, red rain, red dust blanketed all over the world after the appearance of a red star. I mean, we know a lot of things. We know hundreds of things were introduced into the field in 1902 that are just inexplicable. All the appliances that we have in our kitchens today seem to have all been invented in 1902. I've showed all these videos on my channel. 1902 is very unusual. But what we don't have, what about Africa? We don't know a lot of things that have happened in Africa in 1902, other than the fact that there was a major war there. We don't have hardly any details. The Boer War. So there's so much that happened in 1902 that still, but it just like 1764 and 1626. What would we really know if no records were ever recorded about those events? If those people just disappeared?
Yeah, the Boer War was.
I like that Matrix deal.
Yeah, I should look more into that Boer War. I have looked into it a bit. But yeah, it was done and dusted by 1902. They had like, like celebration cheer in Cardiff, and I've got photographs of them, from the great job that they did, apparently wiping out all of the Zulus there, apparently. But again, I'm not buying it really. Not really. You know, these, like we mentioned with the American Civil War, just everything is off with the war narratives. You know, they keep showing you these images, showing you the context, and then when you look into it, nothing fits. You know, because they're giving us the information, aren't they? So
I haven't done deep dives like you have on some of these things because technology in ancient times doesn't amaze me, but I have noticed that we have a lot of evidence building that radiation isn't anything they told us it was, and that it doesn't do the harmful things that we've been told it does.
Agreed.
That radiation might be a psyop. And the reason I say this is because we have a lot of evidence. We have a lot of evidence of the radon stoves in the 17 and 1800s. They were absolutely beautiful. Who spent that much time beautifying that iron? personally sculpted stoves, each one custom,
Crazy.
and then delivered to your home. And they're designed to last for centuries. And all they do is put a small piece of radon in there, and it cooks everything on the stove top and warms your whole house up. And the people were not getting sick. They weren't losing their hair. None of this shit. Some of these stoves were even reported in the 1800s to have healing properties. So,
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So, have you ever heard of Galen Windsor? This guy who likes to lick uranium on his speaks, on his talks. You ever seen him?
No, I've never seen that.
Yeah, man. Basically, me and my son are into radioactive stuff. We got a Geiger counter. I've sent for uranium samples to Australia, which we test. And my son online tests for the radiation count for Cardiff that comes up on a Radmore map, which is nice of him. Yeah, there's spikes. You can check them on this Radmore. You know, these radioactive spikes happening all over the place. Norway gets one daily. I've been following it. But yeah, so I don't think it's hazardous. No, I've got evidence that radiation was used in health and healing. And I don't mean, you know, bombarding the cells like chemo. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people just sitting in radiance.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Stunning, isn't it? Imagine the food it cooked as well on a range. This range, I bet the food was fantastic. You know, these new.
I have some old things from that generation right here in my studio. I have original little mailboxes. Yeah, all the letters back in the 1800s were super tiny. Your envelopes were tiny. A stamp filled up one half of one side of an envelope. The other side had the address, and this is how the postal carriers on horses, you know, the Pony Expresses were able to carry thousands of parcels. And each mailbox is super tiny. I got two of them right here. They're beautiful. I'm talking about, they've lasted 120 years. I'm talking about the metalwork is amazing.
This one here, I've seen with my own eyes. I recognized it instantly. This is in Hereford Cathedral, and this isn't a radium heater. It was on. I touched it. It was steam powered. So I've just like somebody's just slot that in, but I've actually seen it with my own eyes. So that actual heater, I was blown away. I was like, "What the hell is that?"
Look at the symbol. Look at that biohazard or the radiation signal. Isn't that something?
Well, they always scare people with the invisible, don't they? It's like, you know, stuff that you can't really prove. You know, in the Truman Show, Truman tries to escape. They throw a nuclear accident, and we all know that all of the animals and everything in Chernobyl have literally flourished since. But
the same thing in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Yeah, the gardens and everything grew back thicker. At Chernobyl. At Chernobyl in Russia, they say the beetles got 3 times bigger. The insects, the wildlife, all the trees came back super fast.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen a documentary on it. The wolves thing I watched on it. The wolves of Chernobyl. Just
what about the volcano-rich area of Patagonia when Magellan and his men landed the ships? Yeah, Magellan put it in his official records, man. This has been publicized that they saw men that they only came up to their navels. They're called the Patagonian giants. And the only reason that they would have grown to that size was the volcanic activity. And remember, in 1902, those 2 scientists grew 2 inches just from studying Mount Pelée a month after it exploded and being exposed to the ambient radiation still coming out of the volcano. So I'm thinking, you know what? Radiation isn't what we've been told. And I'm thinking that the return of the vapor canopy is what traps this ambient radiation into the area that we live in, into the biosphere. And that's why humans grew to these huge sizes, not behind the Jewish psyop that angels had sex with human women, but because of environmental factors during a pre-flood world, we just grew really big. And there's been a return of temporary vapor canopy since then that produce things like the Patagonian giants, because it's always volcanoes. Volcanoes are what create an atmosphere, and volcanoes are what create canopies. So I'm thinking radiation, it might be something very, very beneficial to us.
I'm thinking so too, but you don't need just a radioactive product for radiation. Other things radiate. They traced radiation after Dresden, and that was just timbers and masonry that that had it. And they still emanated radiation. But
Well,
as for this,
I'm not saying all radiation, because I'm gonna tell you the radiation coming off our smart meters and cell phones is not healthy. That's a
yeah,
different
well,
type.
that's yeah,
It's a different wavelength. But the natural radiation that is emanating from our own world, and because we are a byproduct and made from the same ingredients as our own world, I believe it's very beneficial to us.
yeah. I hear gamma radiation's not that not that good for us. I used to have a science teacher, and he was Mr. Coley. He was such a bullshitter. I put my hands up. I said, "Sir, could you build a nuclear bomb if you tried?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, I probably could." Like, yeah, no, you can't. Just lying. So yeah, radiometers. Yeah, that Galen wins. And I've seen another video as well of a guy doing a backstroke in like a cooling pond where they cool.
He's doing backstrokes.
Yeah, and there's no harm's coming to him. I think there's another technology. I really do, because uranium rods are identical to Archaix. And what I think is going on is that the Archaix is emanating, a radiation. And I think that is boiling the water rather than the radioactive isotope that is trapped in, apparently, the story they tell you for uranium rods and these areas that get completely destroyed for them makes no sense either. So I think that's just jobs for the boys. But look at it, right? In my mind, Jason, right? I think they got free energy. I think they use it, and I think they've been hiding it all along. That's what I think. So if that's the case, then all of that coal that ever got dug in Britain and everywhere else was just like the radiation. It was just jobs for the boys to keep things spinning, and not necessarily needed, because like Trump said, like he's going to drill for oil, and that is where he's going to get and tax the whole of the world on import products and make America a ton of money doing it, and taking back the Panama Canal and other stuff as well, like Greenland. Yeah, so it's all heating up. I'm really excited though, Jason. I wouldn't want to miss a reset for anything. I just love watching this stuff unfold. Other people are like, yikes, oh dear. I'm like, this is super interesting to watch unfold. I'm so glad I never missed it. It's brilliant.
Yeah, I get that. You know what? It's the greatest apocalypse ever. You know what I mean? It's a hell of a show.
Well, we don't know what the others were like. I'm utterly convinced also that we've been through all of this before. We've never basically maybe fucked it up, and then made a deal to all meet one another again in the next life, wherever we were somehow, and we would energetically find one another, and then we would win this time. So that's why things going on.
Hey man, that's a good shit you smoking.
Gets me thinking. Man. I am obscure anyway. Sometimes my fault. I just sit there and I just go deep, trying to work out what this place is, because I definitely got evidence that is a technology. So there's definitely that. I've seen the code that this place is made of. I definitely think it's code. Ones and zeros, switches, on and offs. This thing's a tech. But I understood when I was a teenager that I was affecting reality, that, my thoughts and my emotions were manifesting stuff. So I knew that when I was a teenager. But I abused it. I abused it for womanizing. I abused it for gaining. And it all went wrong and splattered me in the face. And I knew it would. And I did it on purpose because I wanted to do it. And now I've had this understanding my whole life. But now I've finally tuned it. And now I'm turning into something because I'm not doing it for myself. I'm doing it for everything, for the greater goal, for the whole of the future of humanity, whatever this is. Because a lot of people I noticed in my comments, I've read yours as well. They're just disenfranchised with it all. They feel a bit let down by society, and they want to listen to us. They want to listen to us.
Man, listen, I'm ambiguous about that. Let me explain.
Yes, please.
I recently told my community that as much as I want you listening to me, I'm also giving you the advice to Go on. Leave the digital universe alone for a while and go do something. Move around, experience the world, break pattern. And I mean, anybody, this is what I promote. Anybody who's in a slump, you got to understand, man, you're living in two different realities at the same time, the collective and the personal. And you're going to compartmentalize your existence and create your own feedback loops by sitting here watching YouTube all the fucking time. And I tell people, look, man, I love y'all watching me and all that, but you got to go out and do something. You've got to find another way to spend time other than just watching YouTube all day long. You got to break pattern, because this is where experiences are born. This is where the arithmetic gets scrambled and new things pop into your existence. Yeah, man, even something as simple as not planning to go to the store. You've never been to the store on a Wednesday night, ever, because you're a creature of habit. So all of a sudden, you just break pattern, get off a Martin Liedtke video. When he's done, you feeling good. You know what, man? You know what? I normally go watch some TV or go out in the backyard and mess around and listen to radio. But you know what? Just all of a sudden, go to the store. A total pattern break. The construct is now in overdrive, trying to predict you, trying to figure you out. And listen, this is going to open up new experiences. You're going to come into contact with new individuals, people who probably go out every Wednesday on the day you've never been out. And you're going to see a whole other world, come into contact with all new people, and the construct trying to rein you back into something predictable is going to introduce to you something that's going to get your attention. And if you engage, you just opened up a whole new reality tunnel. Maybe with a new friend, maybe with a boyfriend, a girlfriend, and maybe with a situation, and maybe with something cultural, maybe with something societal. You never know, man. But staying at home and watching videos is the best way to kill the creativity in your life.
Yeah, if I don't move around, I can't get like inspired in any way. I got to do stuff. I got to have a very active, busy life and plan things and do things. Otherwise, it's just nothing. I just get in a slump. I can't do anything.
Yeah. Well, breaking pattern isn't so much leaving your property. Breaking pattern is changing your routine. Because me, when I'm done with the video, I'm gonna get up, go mess with these dogs, go do chores, go rearrange something that I've already rearranged probably 500 times, and I've had no business rearranging it again, but I still do it. I go clean my van out. I go walk around the property and do something. I get on the phone, talk to somebody. Get away from that computer.
Yeah, man. But when you're I don't actually watch much YouTube, to be honest with you.
I don't either. That's why I always tell people, no, I never heard of that person, because I do.
Yeah, I have in my comments all the time. Why didn't you go and watch one? You know, like what was it today? Jonathan Clerk. I don't know. I've never watched him, but I get him every day. Go and watch. It's like if I sat there watching YouTube videos, I'd never do any content. And it takes.
I wouldn't even know I had any trolls if it wasn't for all those who like my channel sending me the links.
Same. I got a few of that. Oh, it's all good anyway. We're all here to learn anyway. And pattern break, yeah. Well, I haven't been doing too many of them, but I have been mentally pattern breaking. But you know, I'm using winter as a thing for focusing on my art, which is content making, which is what I enjoy more than anything. Is making a cool video, Jason. That I love it. I absolutely love it.
Hey, how about the? Have you ever looked into like the Illuminati playing deck and looked into?
I'm in it.
What do you mean?
I'm in it. I got a card. I'm the internet worm. Don't believe me? If I can bring it up.
You're the internet. You're the internet worm.
Yeah, man. I break the internet. So about 10 years ago, or maybe 8 years ago, 9 years ago, somebody said, "Fuck me, Martin. Look at this. It's you." Now, literally, I was paranoid that a heating engineer had put a camera up in the corner of my bedroom, pretending it was a CO tester, and it kept flashing. And it's literally like the camera was in there, and it took the back of my head. It had even, at the time I was tying my hair back with a purple hair tie thing, it even had the color right. I'm not even joking. And it said in the thing at the bottom, it says, all data lost. This is the internet word. Literally the same month as I lost all my channel. It's like all data lost. So you couldn't even make it up, Jason. I'll show you now. I'm in the Illuminati cards, all right? So, yeah, how did they predictively know about Trump and other people that are in there? I don't know. I don't know.
Listen, there is no way. Mathematically, the law of probability mandates that there is no way the Simpsons could have got it right so many times. And we're not in some type of mathematical construct.
Yeah, I'll show you.
Yeah, there's no, because whoever was designing The Simpsons, they pulled that shit out of the field. It was already in the field. They pulled it out in the field as potentia before it actually collapsed into experience. So by virtue of imagination, they pulled that data out of the field, developed their cartoons, and then 10, 15 years later, we're seeing everything unfold just the way The Simpsons predicted it. It's crazy.
Some of them are absolute bullshit, though, I've noticed.
Yeah, well, you got to know. So you have some channels that are trying to capitalize on the fact that those channels that do show the Simpson clips that are successful, they're just trying to borrow off that success, and they're not really showing shit. Yeah, I get it.
Well, there you go. It's on there. Look, you know, how can it possibly be?
Well, it's because the Illuminati. This is where I'm going, bro. This is where I'm going with this. The Simpsons is evidence, and so is the Illuminati playing deck. These are both evidence that we are being trolled by AI, bro, and that this has been going on for a long time, and we're just now catching up.
That makes so much sense, Jason.
We're being trolled by AI.
Being trolled by AI. And this is the evidence for it. It's like, how could you even know before time? It's like, you know, especially with the Illuminati cat. And like you said, not only the Simpsons. There I am there, Jason. Can you see that? The internet worm. All data is lost. And then it just says like I destroyed the entire internet, apparently.
Damn, dude.
Same hair and same angle from where I thought that camera was. Even the same color hairband. And when this came to me, coincidentally, I lost all my data. So I was like,
so that's so bizarre.
The internet worm. And it makes sense because I feel like some nights when I've done a vlog that I might have broke the internet or something. Just you do you ever feel like that when you does your mind blow vlogs? It's like, I think I just broke the internet.
Damn.
Yeah. So like TVA stuff, Jason, you know, these different realms and stuff. You know, though you say we break off and tear off our new timeline. I'm definitely all for that, you know. I think they're giving us little bits of truth. So if that's the case, I think there's a way to navigate through it, travel through it as well. I think it's called backdoors. I think they use them. You see it in Adjustment Bureau and so many films, Time Bandits, where they got this map. And they find
no way. I was just now thinking about the little midgets running through those doors, time bandits and all that. Yeah. That's
absolutely
crazy.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant film. But, you know, it's just Lisa Simpson, you know, being, you know, doing, you know, the woman.
Listen, Time Bandits shares a common denominator with Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Well, that's because it was Terry Gilliam that did it, the American member of Monty Python.
Okay, I didn't know that there was a connection because I know in the movie script, in both movies, remember, they revealed the Hollywood production crew inside the movie, making the movie. Remember? It's almost like we're being trolled by AI telling us we're on a stage.
The Illuminati cards have bugged me for the longest time. I've gone through them. I've done vlogs about them, and it's just crazy. You know, how they had Julian Assange, the same, Julian Assange. But it's always these people that are in, like, you know, people say, oh, like, it drives me nuts when people are like, oh, he's such a hero. Oh, yeah, he's such a hero to humanity. And I'm like, oh, bath.
Like, yeah, I was on Twitter the other day, and I asked my community, I says, man, are we being trolled hard or what's going on here? How in the hell is John McAfee's original account now active again, and he's pushing crypto?
Really?
John McAfee, yeah, he's supposed to be dead, but his real account got reactivated, and somebody's using it to push crypto.
I got a couple of imposters I keep getting rid of. They're trying to sell crypto under my name on.
I got several of those. I got so many people. Listen. A lot of times, I'm thinking, man, that I don't know, man. You know what? They're either intelligence agencies or they're part of the Jewish cryptocracy or something, because all the reports in the world can't take these fake Jason accounts off of Facebook. We've reported them on Facebook. We've reported them on Instagram. We've reported them on Twitter. These fake Jason accounts, man, they're immune. They're not getting taken down, man.
Yeah, I'm sick of doing it, actually. I'm sort of stopped, but they're just trolling everyone and pretending they're me. Even one, somebody basically in Dawn's back garden, a video that I did, a short, and they literally put another English voice in for my face, say buy crypto. Like, couldn't believe it. Yeah, but you can find it if you put Matt Leaker in the back. It's just like, what? So the things they come up with, because people trust us, and they just think that they can fucking use our name.
I'm kind of glad that I'm a mispronouncing uncouth Southeast Texas bastard. It'd be hard for AI to replicate me. I make too many mistakes. Same.
I thought that. I think I'm unclonable.
Yeah.
So do you think that's the thing then, Jason? They can replicate humanity, homunculus?
Yeah, there's already AI channels that are doing that. I mean, I've been on the one. I recently contacted this guy and he answered me back, but I don't know if it's a real account. I want him to come on my channel, Elmer Lockyer Jr. 2 years after I already had 300 videos on YouTube bridging simulation theory and the law of attraction. Those were a lot of my earlier videos explaining, look, the law of attraction is pretty interesting. It's got some nuances to it, but when you consider it from the perspective of simulation theory, everything opens up for you. This is what's really happening. Here are the techniques. So I'd already had my videos established, and I'm a bald-headed ex-con with tattoos, and I'm on YouTube. Next thing I know, this dude pops up into my field who's bald-headed, wearing the same silver glasses I was wearing 3 years ago when I was doing videos. He's got tattoos. He's an ex-con. He recently got out of prison, and he's got a law of attraction video based off Neville Goddard, fusing Neville Goddard's material with simulation theory. And this dude got 433,000 subs in 3 years and then 65 million views. And I'm like, what the hell no? So I looked at the math. And I'm saying, okay, I did the math and I found out he has to have 60,000 views per video just to have 65 million. So I look up his channel. He's got 1,200 videos and it still doesn't add up to 65 million views. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. So I look at his stuff and then come to find out his channel didn't start 3 years ago. He got out of prison 3 years ago. His channel started in 2013. And that means that this channel actually had a whole bunch of content and a bunch of videos, because you can delete all your videos and it still shows how many views the channel has.
Of course it does,
A lot of people don't know. Companies are always trying to buy YouTube channels. If you have a YouTube channel that's no longer successful, but you've got a whole bunch of views on it, there are companies that will buy your channel because it already has the views stacked up, and you can sell your channel. I'm not selling mine, but you can. And it's just really unusual how this dude exploded this way. His content is unoriginal. It's all stolen from Neville Goddard, and it's done repackaged in simulation theory jargon. And it's almost as if somebody took a bunch of pre-existing videos of Neville Goddard and maybe, I'll say me, Archaix, and run them through ChatGPT and commanded ChatGPT to merge the two right here. So you can't tell where either one come from, and then do these 20, 30-minute videos. He drops a video every 3 days, and the math isn't adding up. And so I'm getting off in his business, and I'm looking him up. I'm like, wow, come on, man. Fake name, fake location. I'm not into doxing people, but his little 2-story house and his little low economy car I zoomed in on Google Maps, you know what I mean, are not what he's showing on YouTube. On YouTube, he's showing something totally different, driving a McLaren, got a Lamborghini on the side, a badass, all these trucks. Yeah, I'm not big on the law of attraction, trying to promote to a community. If that's your only message, all this material shit, I don't believe you're that successful. And everything I found, man, I pretty much nailed it. He ain't shit compared to what he shows himself to be on YouTube. And I'm waiting on his response right now. I need that man on my channel because I got some deep questions for him.
Interesting. Get on Social Blade. You ever want to find out what channel? Everything's in there. The analytics, everything. Social Blade. So you find out anything on there about channel.
Yeah, I looked up. There's a website. There's a website that you can go to where you can look up YouTube channels and see how much money they make and what their analytics are. So I looked me up, and it was like not accurate at all. I make way more money than it said, and my analytics, my views, and my watch hours were way higher than it reported.
Yeah, my channel's just taking a boost. I think possibly because of my extra hard work, or I think they've lifted my shadow ban. I think that's happening because I've gone from like 40 or 50,000 views to like 250,000.
Yeah,
in a month. So like, okay. This happened before though. I remember when Max gave me a shout, man. I got like 10,000 subs in a week. I didn't even know. My head was spinning. I didn't even know what to do. It's amazing.
When did that happen?
Oh my God, years ago, 2017, 2018, around that time. So
yeah,
man, he gave me a big shout, and my channel just exploded.
Oh, you know what? There was something I was supposed to do this last night, and I forgot. I'm so busy, bro. I apologize. You know, every channel I've never really taken. I don't know why I've never used this feature. But at the bottom of every channel on the channel page on YouTube, there's sponsored channels. I've been meaning to put you there under my channel. You know what I'm talking about? The sponsored channels.
I haven't really noticed. No.
On your YouTube, can I share my screen?
Yeah. No, I don't know about this. I'm not sure I've seen this.
No, man. I'm gonna do this as soon as this video's over.
So what is it? It's like you sponsor like supporting other channels, and it comes up on yours, is it?
Okay, hold on. I'm sharing my screen right now. Let me know when you see the share feature.
Okay.
You see it?
Yes, I got it. There it is. Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to go right here. These are my channel analytics. I'm going to put you all in my business real quick. I'm going to have to go into my settings. Let's see. I'm going to go into my settings real quick. Here's all the comments, subs. Okay, how do I get to this place? Oh, you know what? I'm going to try this. I'm going to try this gate. Here it is. Turn that off real quick. That's my channel introductory video. When you go to my channel, you know you have one too.
Come up, Jason. You still got your desktop.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here you go. How's that?
Yes.
Okay. So here's my channel. Here's a channel. Everybody has a channel page. You have a channel page too. This is my channel page. When you scroll down to the bottom of the channel page, it shows featured channels. You see the two I have on the bottom?
Yeah, no, I never noticed.
Okay, well, if you go into the custom settings on YouTube, you can add any channel. Now, I have Nick T here. He's got a small channel, 6,000, 6,300 subs. Nick T is the one that read all 21 or 23 hours of my Chronicon. And he's the reason why I have Chronicon as an audiobook. So I honored him as putting his channel right here on featured channels. The other featured channel I have is Phaelorn Saga. That's my fantasy. That's my dark fantasy series I wrote in prison. But it's turned into audiobooks for people. That's right there. But I can put you right here. I've been meaning to. I just keep forgetting.
Wow, I'm going to have a look at that. I'm going to look into that.
Yeah, you can go to the featured. Excuse me.
Tissue.
Damn.
I think
excuse me.
YouTube's definitely changing. So something's happened to the internet in the last week or three. I don't know what exactly, but everything's feeling a little bit different. Maybe the AI is getting a grip of it all. I don't know.
I'm going to tell you now. YouTube is owned by Google, and Google has been sued multiple times by different countries because of the censorship. And they're probably loosening up right now. Plus Trump coming in office in the United States, they're probably loosening up their censorship so they don't get on his radar.
Yeah, well, he says free speech he's going to have. So Google is an American company, but I don't think that would mean that I could say what I wanted in Britain.
No, he means free speech as long as you don't talk about Jews.
Yeah, or much at all. You got to be so careful in this place. But, yeah,
that's Trump's version of the First Amendment. Let's see.
So did you watch Trump's speech at all?
No, I didn't.
You didn't.
I'm trying to go in here right now since we're here.
He's my he was a good actor. He's a good actor. Keeps composure. I'll give him that.
Right. I'm looking. I'm gonna have to find it, man. I can't find it while we're in the middle of this video. There's somewhere where I can add featured channels to my channel. I don't know where it's at. I thought it was here.
Community page.
It could be communities where it would be too.
Yeah, and then
no, it's not gonna be community. It's not there. Custom earned subtitles, community
settings,
contents. Would it be settings?
Probably. If you just go down to community on settings, that's where you unblock people or block them. I've got like 5,000 people in my blocked thing.
you got more than I do, but I do have a lot of them blocked.
Yeah. Somebody wanted unblocking, but there were so many names I couldn't find it. I was like, I'm awfully sorry.
Basic, advanced. You know what, bro? I'm just gonna have to do this after the video. I'm just gonna get lost in here. I'm never gonna find that. All right, how to stop sharing there?
Yeah, I'm not bothered anymore. I know it's disproportionate, and then they push a lot of their YouTube favorite channels that haven't got no content, AI, no creativity. When you put
listen, there's no way in hell. There is no way in hell that all these channels all of a sudden at the same time exploded against Billy Carson, and that stuff wasn't helped by the algorithm. No, man.
No shit.
You got this nothing little. I call him a hobbit, but he used to work with Billy Carson, and he turned on Billy Carson and gave up all his personal information, probably reported him and all kinds of stuff, and did a little video. Dude had no subs whatsoever. His channel has exploded since he started exposing Billy Carson, and then all these other people took shots at Billy Carson, and dude, I can't explain it. Even Wes Huff.
I've seen that.
When I mentioned Wes Huff to my community, he had 21,000 subs. And he just got those in the last 2 or 3 days before I mentioned him. But no sooner than 3 weeks. I'm talking about within 3 weeks, the man had over 150,000 subs. Now he's still climbing, and there's no way. The dude, to me, is like a genetic freak. Somebody whose face isn't saying what his mouth is dictating. I'm telling you now, I'm just waiting for Wes Huff to get tired of me shooting shots at him, let his nuts drop, so I can show the public what a true debate is with somebody who knows their material. Because I will humble that man. That man pushing Christianity as actually factual. There's no way that man will ever succeed in debating me, and I hope he listens to this right now. I've been trying to goad him. I've been trying to get him to come out of his little old shell because
he's British, is he? He's British. Is he?
I don't know what he is. I know he was educated in Wesleyan University, which is a seminary. And all it does is churn out little programmed puppets. None of these men can think for themselves. All they are is just totally pre-programmed. You have to understand, I have a very special vested interest in this type of material because I spent 40 years as a Southern Baptist. I know that material, and I know how it's poisonous and toxic, and how it absolutely kills free thinking. And now that I'm free of it, I can see it from the outside and realize, damn, you guys are all trapped in boxed thinking. Yeah, and as long as you're trapped in this box thinking, it's that's what it is, man. It's just there's no way they can ever get out of that box thinking from inside the box. And that's what seminary teaches you to do. Think from inside the box. And anybody who's critical of the biblical material, pull them into the box so you can sucker them and overwhelm them in basically intradisciplinary, intratestamental, in between New Testament and Old Testament, and intradoctrinal arguments, because they will always win if you play on their field. But their field absolutely necessitates that you suspend your disbelief and actually entertain the Bible as fact. Then you're trapped in their box and they got you. That's what apologetics is. And I'm all for taking that shit apart, but I can't do it just releasing videos. I need his participation. I need him to do this in public with me so people will understand exactly how trapped this way of thinking is. I'll expose it.
It is really annoying. Some of the most unpleasant people I ever encounter on YouTube, attacking me for, my non-belief, if you like. But my neighbor yesterday came up to me and he asked me if I'd go to his church. He said, "Are you christened?" I was like, "Yeah." He said, "What, baptized?" I said, "Yeah, of course, I'm Christian." He's like, "Brilliant," because he's like literally a Pakistani guy who's converted from Islam into Christianity. It's very unusual. "Would you come to my church?" I said, "Richard, I'm way too naughty to be able to come into your church." I can't do that. No. So I let him down gently. But I literally accidentally, back about 6 months ago, I heard all singing coming from a church. I thought it was like a party. And I walked in there and I literally walked into a Baptist revival with about 100 black people. They welcomed me in. It was like, they were really awesome, but they were doing this really weird thing I hadn't seen before. Was they had music and they would go spinning around and going in a trance state, like the twirling dervish do.
So man. Did you say Pentecostal?
Yeah, man. They were extreme.
Oh, yeah, you're in trouble. Yeah, you're in trouble,
they were spinning around and you could see their eyes were rolling. They were just in a trance state. And I hadn't seen anything quite like that. I couldn't even believe they let me in to witness it. He did a little prayer before we went. He put our arms around us and done a little prayer. And to be honest, things did start picking up after that. The power of prayer. But again, if you're praying, it's just you, isn't it? So it's the power of you, isn't it? And when these things change, say you go into a church and there's already an augmented, a charge in there, and then you leave the church after you're praying, and then this all manifests because you literally got in that vibration. You've thought about it and you've collapsed it. Well, now you're walking into it. Yeah,
Martin, if the kingdom of God is in you, then that means access to anything that you would ever want inside this materium is going to come from within. And if it comes from within, then that means prayer is pretty much a waste of time. Praying is seeking something in the external, like God. Seeking something in the external for something that you want to bring into contact with your life. It's like praying to the construct for the construct to give you what you want, when actually the proper method is to go to source. But source can only be found from within, because nothing in the construct can replicate God. God is way beyond anything in the world of phenomena. So we got to go within. We got to go within to get it. And the best way to go within to get it is just to determine what you want and move in that direction, and the construct's going to reciprocate.
I couldn't agree more.
I don't believe prayer is talking. Prayer is doing. Prayer is being.
I couldn't agree more. One thing that did happen to me in my life, which I can't explain, is I've had a thing about these guardian angels. Okay. Now, I don't know how to explain this, but I nearly killed myself when I was in the Merchant Navy. I was hungover and I came out of the accommodation and I walked across the hatches in the morning, totally off my head. And I heard a woman's voice shouting, "Martin!" And I shook my head like that, brought me back to reality. And I noticed that my one foot was over the edge of an open hold. And then one more step and I would have fallen to my death. Right? I literally hit the floor and scurried away like a scared child. I was literally made me ill, the shock of it all, what happened. But regardless of that, a voice came out of the air I can even tell you which direction it came in, Jason. It was like over there, and that voice, a woman's voice, which sounded familiar. Okay, which snapped me back out of it and saved my life. So how do you explain that? What was it? Was that me saving me?
I don't know, man, but I do know that if I was in India and I was asking people about their same experiences, they're going to give me all kinds of experiences about their ancient loved ones or Rakshasas, but it's all going to be about frames of reference. I will tell you this, my inability to explain any phenomenon in here doesn't negate anything else that I've already discovered. You know, this is if we're living in a construct, then it's going to be multifaceted. And I say this all the time. We're in a perceiver dependent reality, meaning you and I have agreed to many fundamentals that we agree are true across the board. And we know that if we don't put clothes on, we're naked. We know that if we're not sitting down, we're probably standing up. We know that if we want to clean our avatar, we need to take a bath or a shower. There are many fundamentals that we agree to across the board, but there's also little nuances in reality that we have differences of opinion on. And the construct actually builds Martin Liedtke's world to his specifications. The construct builds Jason Breshears' world to my specifications, and the construct builds your son's world to his specifications. And the beauty of the construct, it's like a Mandelbrot said, is multifaceted and multidimensional, meaning we can all coexist, but some of the things that we disagree on never come in contact, which means there's a confluence between everything that we do agree on. Yeah, man, it's complex here.
I noticed when I got older, I noticed the patterns in my life personally were created by me, and I've done replicating patterns for some reason, and that can be quite destructive. And I've noticed I don't do it anymore. I've snapped out of it, you know. So whatever the patterns that were replicating for maybe 30 years or more are no longer there. I've changed that much.
Oh yeah, you're now vibrating on a different frequency. That's good.
Yeah,
I get it, man. I had a really interesting I'm gonna tell you about the Zechariah Sitchin news I got.
Oh yeah, that's so cool.
So I haven't even told my community really what's going on. It's
we got 1,200 people there in chat. Hiya all. So awesome.
Oh, do we? I can't see what the chat is from my end, but so my publisher sent me an email recently, and he said, "Hey, we have a pretty sensitive situation. You've attracted some attention from the largest Zechariah Sitchin Anunnaki platform in the world, and they've been hearing your name in your research, and they've been offended that you would try to correct Zechariah Sitchin, and they've been having arguments, in house for a long time, but now all of a sudden the head of that entire group reached out to my publisher." Because my publisher used to travel with Zechariah Sitchin all over the world. He was Paul Tice was Sitchin's videographer. They traveled everywhere together. That's why Paul Tice published my books, Anunnaki Homeworld and Return of the Fallen Ones, that critiqued Sitchin's work and corrected the Shar dating. And anyway, he said, "You have a unique opportunity. As soon as you send me a link to any video you're going to do in the future where you bridge and demonstrate the crossover between the Earth Chronicles of Zechariah Sitchin and the Archaix research, and very politely correct Zechariah Sitchin, not trying to bring offense to people that really praise his work and been following it for many years." He says, as soon as you do that, let me know. I will send it to this lady, and then she will send it to that whole community, and they'll be ready to watch your video and then make an assessment from there. So I said, I don't need to prepare for that. I'll go ahead and do that Saturday. So I've already put it out to my publisher, man. This is going down on Saturday. And sometime tonight, after I finish my Christian dissertation, I'm going to go ahead and post that live video. But yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to show the crossover between the Earth Chronicles and Zechariah Sitchin. I'm going to show what Zechariah Sitchin had brought to the table that was beneficial, and where he is lacking and it needed to be corrected, and where I corrected it, and where it puts us today. I'm going to do all that in one video, man.
concerning like Anunnaki subjects and stuff. Yeah.
Yes. Well, more so. The Anunnaki timekeeping systems, the calendars that we have in the world today, and how they developed, where they came from, and how Sitchin got it wrong. Because Sitchin promoted the Anunnaki history was hundreds of thousands of years in duration, but when you correct the Shar interpretation to what the scholars in ancient Rome knew it was, which was a day, because that's how they factored it when they did all their calculations on Babylonian history.
Gotcha.
So like Callisthenes did, the Greek scholar that followed Alexander the Great, he was told that the Babylonians calculated their own astronomical measurements going back 473,000 units of time, shars. Well, Billy Carson and Zechariah Sitchin interpret that as years. So they say that basically 500,000 years ago, the Anunnaki arrived and started messing with humans and genetic, and that's not what it says.
Yeah.
It says units of time, circles in the sky is a shar. That's literally what it means.
One day.
Yeah. So Callisthenes in 300 BC knew exactly what a shar was and calculated it, that the Babylonians started their astronomical histories in 1903 BC. And the only way he could have done that is if he did what I said you're supposed to do. You're supposed to divide all these mega long numbers by the Sumerian sexagesimal lunisolar year of 360 days, just like the Mayan long count. And when you do, everything makes perfect sense. And there's proof of that. Absolute proof of that, because we have records that say that the Sumerian kings ruled for 670 years. But the Sumerian king lists say that the 7 kings ruled for 241,200 shars. This looks like a contradiction, but it's not, because 241,200 turnings of the stars from just days divided by 360 is precisely 670 years exactly. So I don't want to go into all that, but these are the things that I had to correct to show that Zechariah Sitchin recorded some real history. He just got the chronology wrong and what it really means. So this is what I'm going to do Saturday. So I'm probably going to have a whole lot of extra people in my chat from their community who are going to be listening to me for the first time talk about these things.
He's got a massive following, Sitchin. I watched a documentary about him years ago, and it was proposed that some of his findings on the cuneiform was he was just doing a sort of Zionist agenda with it, Kabbalistic, agenda attached to it. So, but I seen a lady who was working in the British Museum who completely discounted him and said that she had a different version of events from the cuneiform that she was reading.
Oh yeah, the version of events are different.
It's obscure.
The calendar changes everything, because I don't really follow Sitchin's interpretations. I follow those of Maureen Gallery Kovacs, Sumerologist, of Samuel Noah Kramer, a Sumerologist, of Thor Heyerdahl, a Sumerologist, and my favorite above all, and one of the best Sumerologists of all time, is Professor L.A. Waddell. These are the ones I follow, but reading them is how I came to the information that I came to, that Sitchin is absolutely wrong. So, yeah, it's going to be a good video.
Yeah, that is super good. Super good. I seen you had a back and forth with Gnostic Academy, didn't you? Marty Leeds?
I haven't really had a back and forth. It's all forth. It's all on him. He got triggered behind. Well, first of all, a little history. I don't even know the dude. He wasn't even on my radar. Until about a year ago, somebody asked me, "Hey man, why is this dude over here attacking you?" And he was with it on another channel, and they were talking about me. It wasn't nothing good. I just wrote it off. And then recently, he did a video and he's showing the criminal history and all that. I'm like, wow, you want to be taken seriously, but you default to ad hominem. I says, I'm not going to take you seriously. You already wrote yourself out of there. So it's he got triggered behind a Zodiac presentation I did. Yeah. So he cherry picked three little things that he thought made his case, but they actually support exactly what I'm saying. One of the deals was Pliny the Elder. Mm-hmm. He said that Pliny the Elder knew all about the Zodiac. I'm saying no, he didn't. He said he never mentioned one single zodiac sign. He never mentioned anything about the cycle of the zodiac, any of the mechanics of the zodiac, what the zodiac is for, anything. It's a simple one-sentence statement that says the zodiac is the circle of the animals, and then it goes on to another topic. This is what's called an interpolation. Interpolations are isolated by scholars all the time as single little statements that are thrown into older as texts are being translated to make it look like that a certain knowledge was known before that. This is famous. Biblical scholars have isolated hundreds of interpolations, such as all throughout the Old Testament, somebody went through when they were retranslating a lot of the biblical books. They went in there at the beginning, at the end of different chapters and put, is this not written in the books of Moses? Was this not given to Moses on the mountain? These are found over and over at the beginning and ending of chapters. And this is evidence of interpolation. They didn't want to disrupt the inside of the text, so they added it to the beginning or the end, which became new colophons. So anyway, he isolated three little things and cited Eusebius, which is dumb because Eusebius is known liar. Eusebius is like the greatest liar of all time. There's whole books published about all the lies that Eusebius did on the church. So, but either way, Gnostic Academy isolated three particulars from three texts that are all dated to the 1st century AD, which still supports my claim. My claim is the zodiac was developed by the Greeks around 300 BC, and there's no history of the zodiac before then. And the oldest zodiac in the world is Greek, and it's in Egypt called Dendera. And that the reason there is no ancient zodiacs, and my premise is very clear, the reason no ancient zodiacs exist is because we had a vapor canopy atmosphere, and a zodiac would have meant nothing to them back then. The zodiac is about the solar. I'm only talking about the solar zodiac. So this whole deal was invented by the Greeks, and it was refined in the Roman times. And the actual zodiac that you know today, Taurus, Leo, Gemini, Cancer, Libra, all the zodiac signs that you know of today, was actually formally published for the very first time in 200 AD by Ptolemy, and not a hint of it before then. So it's his arguments are petty, and they actually make my case for me, man.
Oh, yeah, I've known Marty for years. Years.
Yeah, you know what? I don't care. He can bark all he wants.
He's got a hat of gold, but what you got to think, he's like the flat Earth's Shem, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
I don't care. Anybody who defaults to ad hominem, you know what? I can't take him seriously no more.
Yeah, I know.
It's dumb.
Oh, I know. I seen that. I couldn't believe it. But I got a book over there again by Wilson and Blackett. Right? Ross, who's now dead, was working on what he proposed was the first zodiac on Earth, which was put on stones, which I can see like literally tomorrow when it's in daylight on top of the mountains around here. And he said that they correlated to stars, etc. And literally there's a whole book on it by Wilson and Blackett. But he was working on it when he died, funnily enough. He was going to these sites and that, but it'd never been proposed or talked about before. You know, like, so what they call Neolithic, you know, sort of, I'm guessing druidical. But, you know, they say that Stonehenge was to mark solstices, but also the duration of the calendar as well. So, and Avery as well. So I think they did have understandings of it all way back. But
yeah.
In 1928, they were going to introduce a 13th month. I think they're doing something with time because the days are flipping by. And they're not the same as they used to be. And I don't think it's because I got older. I just literally think that the time is quickening. I think it's all quickening. The information that we bring forth, the stuff that we do, everything seems that like that it's quickening. And the way that the shit show is like, I watch it and I'm like, this is perfect timing. All of it. It's like you can't even make it up. Yeah. It's like I expect it. And it's like I've seen it before. And it amuses me, and I can see the way it goes. But, you know, I think this, I do, Jason. I think that the power of individual thought as well can change the whole realm. One person can change your realm. Look at Adolf Hitler, for example, or other people. Their impact, one human, on the whole of humanity.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. So
I can see that. Although he had some help, but still.
imagine if, you know, your information, couple of mine, leaked out to the wider masses, that you don't need to be scared, and you can, and you stand in your own power, and you haven't got to give it away to invisible entities. The whole world would be healed. It would be absolutely fantastic. Everything would be sorted. So, but you know,
now
everyone watch.
Now we're entertaining something that I would love to believe in. You know, but I know. The more research I do, I've never seen the evidence of a golden age. I've never seen any evidence that we've ever had a perfect society, a utopia. Yeah. Don't you think
maybe that's in our future?
If this, yes, that's true. It doesn't mean it's not in our future. But where I'm at right now is if we're in a construct that's governed by an artificial intelligence that's gone rogue, the scenario that I propose, like Roko's Basilisk, if this is indeed the scenario, then I'm thinking that long before the control system allows enough souls to wake up, it will initiate total systemic reset. It will, like you said before, it'll clear cache. I'm starting to see a more electrical based mechanical construct, because remember my channel first started out, I was always talking about the super constructions hidden in the sky and the Phoenix phenomenon. And then you said something profound one time that, hey Jason, all those 138-year periods you document with that red dust and red rain and red mud, man, could that just be like oxidation coming off the sun, a sun shedding itself like a snake? You remember when you said that?
Yeah.
It's like a battery when a battery slows off.
But there is some sort of, you know, I think the analogs, I think the alchemical interpretation is telling us that it sheds, you know, there's a new beginning. Did you see my last video that I did? It got like 60,000 views, where I proposed that Satan was the sun. And
I did see that you recently had a video that had like 65,000.
So I got to read what people were saying and what they're thinking. There was like 1,300 comments or something, and it's really interesting to see what people think we're in for a start off. A lot of fear involved with it all. No, I did mention it. I thought it was, you know, down to the perspective of the person, you know, because hell ain't a bad place to be. We seem to be in a lower vibrational experience than what we should have, I think, you know. There's, you know, even the very wealthier seem to be struggling for some, you know, somewhat. Everybody seems to struggle. Everyone seems to suffer. Even the billionaires, you know, because they're going to die and get old and have miserable things happen. Nobody seems to escape that. So there's that tied into it as well, isn't there? That nobody seems to be able to escape from. So
see where I tend to, my mind wanders. I tend to think like this. I would hate to exit this construct and then go through a debriefing with like a higher being that shows the movie of my life and shows me everything that I missed simply because I didn't look.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Like, Jason, do you know if you just stopped right then and there, everything that you were looking for in life at that moment, if you just stopped what you were doing, which was the struggle, and just let go, and get in your van and just drive to the truck stop and go buy you something out of a machine somewhere. Just break pattern, do something. Do you know that you would have run into this person? Do you know this person was attached to this? Do you know that this person had nothing to do in their life but want to find somebody like you? And you know what I mean? I would hate to see a review of my life and all the opportunities I missed because I was too busy living in the digital universe instead of the real world. So,
wow, that would be something sickening.
I just think on a daily basis, I say this on my channel a lot, or I used to, was that every single moment is pregnant with possibilities, and we just let them go. We just let them go because we're steady thinking instead of doing.
I learned to grab opportunities when I see them, or like make opportunities, because, you know, like this experience here tonight, enjoyed by everyone, was like a thought that turned into this. It's like, I'd like to talk to Jason. Let's get him over, and then we'll all have a super night. Because, you know, the way I'm seeing YouTube at the moment is just, you know, it's not that many people that blow my mind with, you know, groundbreaking content, and this is this is what's been happening.
Man, I haven't had any engagement at all with Campbell. I mean, he just kind of fell off my radar.
No, I sent him an email to phone text today. He's moved. He's moving.
Yeah,
he's moving.
Well, I mean, I seen Tartarian Truth was on his channel as a guest. So I was like,
really?
Wow, okay, yeah, oh, absolutely. I saw him on the channel. I was like, oh, okay. Well, You know what? You don't remember that?
Yeah,
or was it, or did they do a call-in show? I went to Campbell's channel. And I seen old Tartarian Truth. I had Tartarian Truth in my my Q&A. He popped up in one of my Q&As, and then he popped up again when I did a Q&A a couple of months later. But I didn't get. He popped up too late. I'd already exhausted. I'd already been going like 2.5 hours. So,
but yeah, I watched when he came on. Yeah. Oh. He's just ripping into Santos at the moment.
Dude, where is Santos? I ain't seen nothing about Santos.
He's doing videos.
Is he?
Yeah, man. Yeah, he's I think it's Synchronicity Society. I think it's something along those lines. So
well, he had Syncretism Society, but that channel got taken down with his Mr. Astrotheology when he went on all those rants. Oh, those rants were classic. I put one of them on Archaix TV.
Look, every time I see them, although I would never behave like that myself, to watch somebody else doing it, I was in stitches because I know what he's like. I know what Santos is like. He's a live wire. He's a warrior.
Yeah, man.
And he did that to lose his channel, so they'd lay the fuck off him because he had that guy sneaking around him. I can't remember his name, Darren. And just fucking him over. And I could see.
Yeah, it's a sad story. I don't know all the details of that. I don't know, but I know that I've cut out of my field all the people from Morocco that were working around me too, because I isolated Morocco was where a lot of these people were coming from who were infiltrating the truther community and doing all kinds of shit.
Yeah,
like that dude Daniel Mamoa who took Santos down, and then I had a Discord channel that was started by a dude named Adam in Morocco. I didn't know anything about the guy. He'd never seen his real face, anything. He had intelligence operative. He reeked intelligence operative. So there's this clown. What's his name? Really pathetic. He's like the worst. He's worse. He's been on Tartarian Truth a couple times. This dude is just a bald face. I'm talking about Dawn spent a lot of time with this guy counseling him. And you know what? The venomous, evil shit he said about her and me and stuff on YouTube and stuff, just totally dry ass making up lies simply because I left the Discord group. Because
I know what you're saying. So you're on about Clay. I seen it. I watched it.
Yeah, Clay. Yeah, Clayton. They used to go by Phoenix Protocol. Clayton.
I know exactly Clay is. Yeah.
So this dude here is so toxic. I couldn't believe what I heard when I was out of his mouth and all these. You know what? I'm not either. I have no scruples whatever about telling you right now. He used to be counseled by Dawn because he couldn't get out of doing methadone because he was a meth addict. He ain't got no teeth and his dick don't work and he needed counseling and he was suicidal and she talked that boy into going to counseling. Yeah, man. And this dude had nothing. And then turnaround was helped by me and Dawn, and then turnaround simply because I pulled out of the Discord group. This dude went on a lecture circuit, going on a bunch of channels, just lying on me and Dawn and just making up all kinds of shit.
I didn't like him talking about Dawn like that. No.
So I don't have no problem with the public knowing that, hey, if you're a woman out there and you're looking, to date Clayton Gilly, Phoenix Protocol, just know that you didn't expect some other type of behavior because you ain't gonna be sleeping with a dude.
I find it fascinating that Shem knows so much. I'm actually.
Shem's an intelligence operative.
It's like he's fucking a fly floating around the walls. He just knows so much about
emails.
When we hang around, he knows emails, bro. He's just fucking nuts. How he knows.
Dude, Shem Jacobs. It's not even his real name, but Tartarian Truth is an intelligence operative, bro.
Hmm.
I've got emails from him, man. I'm telling you, dude. This guy here is sharp as a tack. He plays a real dumbass on social media. You know what I mean? But if you read his emails, you will see this man he's an expert communicator, and he's not speaking for himself. He is certainly attached to something else.
Yeah.
So yeah, no doubt, man.
No doubt. And he is super smart too. I know that.
Yeah, man. Now there's dumbass dudes that he's been attached to in the past, like Chalk Body Outline. That's a moron.
Yeah. Anyway, the thing is that I think is there's consequences for everything in this place, and you do stuff like that, and it's just going to come back at you anyway. And that guy Clay is just cringing to you hear him talking about other people's business, and trying to make bad of it. Well, what the fuck was he invested in doing that? It's just like, what? I just couldn't get my head around. It's so unpleasant. But yeah, I watched that, Jason. Fuck.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't even know what happened to that dude. I guess he's still online, but I made some assertions, and I still stick by them. Every single channel that's ever attacked me has not fared well at all. I put that into the field, and I live by it every single day. Another one's Old World Florida. Yeah, I've never even heard of that dude, and all of a sudden he just starts attacking me. So I'll look him up and come to find out, what is it? What is it about all these ex-cons that attack me? I don't get it. All these guys trying to hide their own criminal backgrounds, you know what I mean? But they're attacking me. What's going on?
Well, I'll tell you exactly what it is, Jason, right? It's when people are attacking you, right, then they're attacking themselves because they're talking about themselves, they're projecting. So whatever it is that he's bugged with you about is actually because really that's him. And that's how people are. If they're bugged about certain aspects of people and they concentrate on it, it's because that's the person that they actually are. So I think that's what's going on. Okay, it's
crazy.
Why would I can't get my head around why people just crank up anyway and just there's so much good you could do in the world that you're talking about.
Yeah. So when's the next time you're gonna haul ass across the state of Texas again?
I miss Texas so much, man. I tell you, I breathe for the place. I absolutely love Texas, man. Really do.
Yeah. I launched the Office today. Today's the 29th. Today, I don't know if Barry sent them out yet, but I did a YouTube video, but it's private. But I did a YouTube video. It's not for the public. It's just for all those who signed up for Office. And we're already doing sports predictions, personal predictions, and crypto predictions. It started today. And sometime today, all those who signed up for Office are supposed to be getting their emails with their video link. And when they link onto the video and watch it on YouTube, it's got instructions on how to submit their predictions and all that. So yeah, it's next time you come to the United States, man, we'll hook up. We'll go to Vegas, man. And we'll use this software.
I miss you guys. I'm Big John, man. I miss you guys. You know that. Yeah, man.
We had a blast last time.
Fucking best time ever, brother. Best time ever. I'm supposed to be going to LA in April to this alien thing, but did you see my hangout? I had a hangout with them, and there was like some quite famous people there, I've known about for years. And it was a unique kind of pain. It was terrible to sit through.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when I come from the perspective that I do. Exactly. But I realized the game was, and I didn't realize, is talk as much shit as you can, and make it a business model, and then just keep on repeating that same old bullshit, and you literally make money, and people will follow it. It's incredible. That's what they do.
We're all on that same vein. I didn't give it the okay yet, but my team got together, and Big John, Cole, Cheryl.
Yeah,
they had come up with Barry. They got a really good idea. They want me to start a weekly show called either Apocalypse Chronicles or Archaix News or something. Where on Archaix TV, I'm actually going to be talking about all the things that are in the news, but I'm going to be giving you what's really happening behind the scenes with humor, exposing these people, and then. That's one show, and then they want me to do another show. We haven't figured out what the title what the title is, but we literally just single somebody out who deserves it, and we rip them. We just rip them. We go through their content, we go through what they say, their comment sections, and we just totally dissect them and take them apart. And only deserving people, not you know. I mean, I'm not with that bully shit. But I mean, people like Professor Dave. I'm waiting for Professor Dave to say.
Oh, listen, I'm not a bully, but I would absolutely love to bastardize
Professor Dave says anything dumb. I promise you, he's on my radar.
Yeah, I had a little fit on Simon Dan once because he kept making videos about me, and I'd have like tens of thousands showing up trolling me. I'm like, "You kill it." I sent him an email. I said, "You're killing my channel, bro." And he went, "Oh, I'm awfully sorry. I won't do it again." It's really nice about it.
Yeah,
it's like they told me to. I had to do it. Yeah. So you're live in about an hour. Sorry.
Come again?
I was just saying you've got your live show in about an hour. So
yeah, man, I can't wait. I'm going to be getting into it.
I'll be over there. Make sure to one of the mods, please put the link for Jason's show in the chat box. And if you don't know Jason's channel, you can find his link below in the descriptions box. Make sure to. Professor Dave is a bot. He literally reads a script, Beam. He's on Russian vids, like literally admitting that he never does his own content. He has a script come in and he reads it off a teleprompter on the screen. So he's just reading off what they send him because he hasn't actually got a brain in himself. And he's not a professor. He's a wise the way. So
I heard that professorship was fake.
Yeah, he's not a professor. Yeah. He's not even an academic. We're academics by the definition of us being authors. We on our own research that we classify as an academic. He's not an academic, so there's that. So
yeah, I get it.
Oh, thanks everybody for being here. So many people, 1,200 people just under there. So awesome for you being here. Thank you very much. Make sure to come back on Saturday. Make sure to get over to Jason's channel. He's going to have an epic night tonight as well. So thank you, Jason, for being here.
Yeah, man, this is great. We need to do this more often, man. I like these type of videos because I don't have to prepare for anything.
Same. We just ad hoc it forever, man. It's true. But it's the points as well. You know, it's juicy stuff, Jason. You know, it really gets the thoughts going and gets people thinking. You know,
yeah, we'll go
stuff. Positive.
Yeah, we'll sign out now, and that'll give me time to figure out in those settings how I put you on the sponsored videos.
I'll have a look at that as well. So yeah, that's really interesting.
Channel.
Yeah, thanks, Jason. You consent to me. Anyway, much love everybody in chat. Thanks everybody. Wiggly flat thumbists and errands. Love you all very much. You are totally awesome. Hope you had a good time in chat as well. I seen you all happy and bubbling away in there. Everyone's been in there, the whole gang. It feels good. Feels good that you're all there. Thank you. Pamela Swan.
Later.
Thanks, Jason. You're awesome. Yay. Okay, guys, I'm going to pop out now because I've got things to do. And make sure to catch up on my videos. My last one last night. If you feel like having a giggle, watch that. Anyway, much love. Stay epic. Awesome beings.